Curiosity is our compass. Every question, no matter how weird or impossible, becomes a doorway. We journey from galaxies that bend time, to comics that rewrite history, to the hidden codes running through our everyday lives. We dare to ask what others overlook. We chase rabbit holes, wrestle with paradoxes, and celebrate the strange, the brilliant, and the wonderfully nerdy. Because being a nerd isn't about knowing everything. It's about never being afraid to wonder. So buckle up. The journey starts here. This is NeRDiTY.
Spade, unacheki spoon, tulikuwa tunaita spade tukiwa of course. Hata heri uko sasa hadi bro. But
because of spade bwana.
Sikoza spade, unakosa spade aje. Ilikuwa inashika hapo kwa shati.
I think it was crazy.
It's crazy.
Wait,
It was a fun time.
Yeah, naonanga. Na sijui, I think this is tunakuwa privileged kama wa Kenya.
Yeah.
Kenyan high school is just a phase. Regardless,
Jeez, man.
it's just a phase. Yeah.
I think it's a rite of passage. Juu ukikosa those high school moments. Unaonanga watu wenye walimalizia like primary school, they never went to high school.
Yeah.
They have a boring afterlife, you know?
I keep learning
high school. Even the friends you made there.
Yeah. Crucial.
Yeah, crucial.
Talking about chakula instances with high school, I think it's a very bad way to begin our episode. But nakumbuka nikiwa form 3, and would you believe it? I was very tiny, all up to form 4, second term.
For real.
I swear. And those people
like,
wenye tulienda kia Dori High School na wao mustahili
how tiny compare na wengine? Like
who do we have? You see the way Manu is sai.
Yeah.
Piga sasa half side ya Manu. Nilikuwa mskini, nilikuwa mfupi.
Yeah.
Lakini sauti na kelele. I was loud and rowdy. But I think actually spirit ya maandamano ilikuwa ndio cultivatiwa high school.
Actually, I think tuko na similarity because Jay anaweza kuambia in my class I think I was, if not the smallest guy, yeah. Kulikuwa na wasichana wenye ni wadogo kuliko, but I was the smallest in terms of size. Kelele bro, sikuwa nakosa kwa noise maker. I don't know why short people are noise.
Tukiongea kuhusu spade na nini ilikumbusha, you see the way last ball nilimwambia ninaweza mbuli at any time. I was those sorts of, I wasn't a bully per se, but kuna situations zenye zilikuwa zina happen hata mimi ninajiambia yenyewe akili yangu haiko mzuri. You know this tabia ya break time. Mnaendea chai of course.
Yeah.
Form 4, form 3, alafu mpate ndio mwalimu wa maths amwaamulia. So break yote kuna mwalimu naenda. So you are like released at the very last minutes, kitu 10 minutes. Hauna yuko sure kama utaenda kupata chai. Ama scenario ya kuna queue. Like a very long queue and you don't want a queue. Oh my days. Mimi form 1 na form 2 nimerusha vidole kwa chai yao. Hauwezi kunywa afterwards. So, ila unipe, mwaki unatakaje. Option ni mbili.
So when kama ulikuwa bully na wewe?
I was not a bully.
No, if you got form 1 and form 2, you're a bully.
But, si ati nilikuwa bully. Kuna zile zinaitwa rites of passage za high school. Usikose
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
Did you ever kupitia hiyo from maybe from 3s or from 4s? Maybe while you wake up vidole, maybe kwa chai.
No, actually I was very beloved by my seniors nikiwa form 1, form 2. Kulikuwa na one guy in form 4 when I was in form 1 who we looked very similar na hatujawahi patana. Watu walikuwa wanasema ni brother yangu. Na hata yeye alikuwa ananiambia kijana ni wetu bana, ni kama kuna mzazi mmoja alitembea kwa wenyewe, you understand. So I wasn't really like bullied, but at the very same the sort of high school situation I had ilikuwa very unique. Being made a captain by form 2, it's a lot, but more than that, it was very fun for me. Fun and casual.
Did you know anyone by the time you were joining high school?
In that school?
In that school, yeah. No?
No.
The opposite of me. I knew guys from Form 2, Form 3, Form 4. And actually all of them, they were bullies. So I was very lucky. Hawa jamaa akienda kuosha choo, mimi nilikuwa na inspect. Mimi sikuwa naosha, you get. Kama ni food, mimi nilikuwa nasongesha online. And I was never a captain, I was never a prefect.
All through,
but I used to get these privileges, bro.
God damn. Yeah, ulikuwa bully by associates. By association. Yeah.
I was tiny, so I couldn't maybe qualify body-wise being a bully. But because I knew bullies in that school, I was always getting those privileges.
Exactly. Same reason. I was also tiny. How could I be a bully? How easy? But anyway, we begin this thing tumejipata tuko ndani, man, and it is really, really amazing. We want to welcome each and every person who is going to watch this podcast, this episode, this creation, whatever it is. About kwa hapa kupiga story, and I think ni poa tuanze with this very fun note yenye we've had. My brother, ujiintroduce ndio tupige issue.
But before nichape intro, so it's good to tell you that hii podcast itakuwa inaitwa
NeRDiTY. Yo.
So we'll explain why.
Yeah, and we have a lot of disclaimers, by the way, to put across. And I think it is important, by the way, to make on episode 0. To lay things on the ground, tusikuje kushtuana hapa mbele.
So it's the episode 1 in episode 0.
Episode 0.
Laying the foundation and ground, Alright. So my name is Kangara Ndongo, but for this episode, I'll go by the name That's So that is my nickname, way from high school. So that's is simply coined around my actual name. My actual name is Kangara. So for those of you who are maybe Kikuyus and you know the meaning of these names, so that's is closely tied to that.
That is for the international community,
International communities and the close friends, So maybe you know my nickname. Like what's your nickname?
KR.
What does it mean?
What's the name? Prince KR rings to be my name. My official government names in our Prince Brian Kamau Wamboy. Lakini hizo za serikali.
Like Prince is part of your name?
Oh, yeah. So what you mean? I mean, it's my name. That's why the king is the title. So, you know.
Oh, yo.
Something.
Thanks, bro.
But amazing. Of course, it will be a very huge mistake to recognize our two human beings behind the cameras who are still a part of NeRDiTY. DOP.
Our DOP. He's the one holding this camera.
And
we have our
last born.
He's
last born. I think we should tease our viewers to the last born first reveal episode 25. DOP first reveal.
No. Actually, let's do it episode 22. He's 22 years old.
Oh yeah. So we do 22.
Jay, you are how old?
Brayo biker, never revealing
your face. Okay,
actually, so we will do like a challenge for him. Jay is a crucial part of this. Now, of course, mnasikia sauti yake behind the camera once in a while. He is as much a scene or a person on the camera,
part of this.
As we both are. Now at the last born tutamleta hapa mara kadhaa to na conversation zenye, you know, the way we used to be told before you were born, those days we have somebody we can tell
now.
Which
feels good.
How bad we are.
Feels good.
It feels good. He's not as magnificently younger than us. Ni miaka 3-4.
But he's still younger.
But when he's young, but when he last born. So you
know, I never imagined that at some point I'll grow up to tell others, you know, anything, literally anything. Simply tumeongelea stories za size. So I used to think I'll always be like small. I'll be that tiny. I'll never, you know, be above anyone else. But say, hey, watu wenye naambia, including you last one.
Do you feel like we are growing up?
We are.
Yeah, it is such a thing. The fact that tumekuwa watu wakubwa. Home, mimi sikuwa hiitishwa do. in recent days.
But right now,
adulting is just come, guys. Don't grow old. We have warned you earlier.
Okay, but you are you having a good time? Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. But
the freedom itself.
Balancing the good and the bad of adulting,
Tricky.
and being in Kenya currently, ni kungori. But that is not the main theme in NeRDiTY.
No.
Why are we doing NeRDiTY?
The reason why we are doing NeRDiTY is because we are targeting nerds.
Yeah.
So who is a nerd basically? So a nerd is someone who is knowledgeable in a certain area, specific area. So when you're having normal conversations, most probably you find that there's this person who is too knowledgeable about something.
Yeah.
So he kicks off most of the people, average people, we call them, yeah. So mostly you'll be like, you're being too, too detailed. So we need to discuss things to do with nerds, basically. So we hear about everything. Everything.
Disclaimer number one. This is not one of those we call them average. I like the word you use. This is not one of those average podcasts. And I love that word, by the way.
Definitely.
So ukijipata in simpler words, nerds ni wale watu wenye tulikuwa tunajiambia hao ni know it all. So, those sorts of people. But there is a lot to a nerd. There is a lot to NeRDiTY. There is a lot to having that bunch of information. Kuna this other category of hybrid nerds. What they have little knowledge of absolutely everything. We are going to have conversations about that sort of situation. And disclaimer is that a huge disclaimer, whatever we're going to talk about here is nothing but our own opinions of what is going on in our brain. Ni experiences zetu, ni vitu zenye tunapitia, tunaona zikiko on. Of course, we are not in an alien world. We are in the same universe you are living in. So kitu yenye tutakuwa tunaongelea most likely inakuhusu. Yeah. And kutakuwa na a lot of strong languages saa zingine. Kutakuwa na a lot of not a lot, a little bit of cussing here and there. Forgive us when it happens, when it slips. Samee ama namna gani.
So once the kitoka, it's hard to take them back. So maybe Prince Brian, just to get a bit of background from you, so like umetoka familia inakaaje, how was your background education, do it tusaitie pace you know what we are going to discuss basically.
Actually, and I think I absolutely love NeRDiTY already, because this is the first time kwa a media interaction. Sasa ninaulizwa maswali first of all. Imagine all the other times inakuwa either ni siasa, maneno ya governance, but so basically mimi ni mtoto wa Islando. You will not believe it.
So you're born there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Born in Island, Kayole, but I have had a lot of influence with being the community child. Ule mtoto mwenye alikuwa anapendwa na watu wengi, such that anko yangu mahali fulani alikuwa ananilea, buka yangu alikuwa ananilea, church ilikuwa inanilea, shule. But most of my life has been very much influenced, and I've been so privileged to be surrounded by women. I look at my entire lifetime, Miss J kuna shortage ya women. Kumaisha?
What about now?
And I'm a nerd form. And I'm a nerd. Vile sijui unasikianga ati sijui nerds cannot I.
Actually wanasemaga nerds, if you're a guy and you're a nerd, they say you're not good with
women.
At all.
Absolutely false. Mimi, I had a lot of aunties, a lot of friends of my mother who want to hawakuwahi kosa kunispoil nikiwa mdogo. I did so much things that were so much instigated and influenced by those women. I am who I am because of those women. And I am usually so very proud about it too. As I was telling you, even my government name, I took my mother's name as my surname. It is that sort of a deep influence. And there is a lot from my dad. My dad was not really there when I was really growing up. But who gives a F? Who gives a
Who cares?
Who cares?
Just say
Who cares? So Mzai was busy with the I have step siblings, and it's it's funny because I know I have step siblings, but hatujawahi patana.
How many of those do you have? Or you don't know?
By the last time I was checking, John Madema Willy. The main reason why I was checking actually ni siwahi patana na sister yangu hii town ni alafu human. But
That's why you only check the women.
Things that are actually happening. Yeah. If you find yourself marrying your cousin or even your step sibling, it's crazy. Yeah. So you need to do a research.
So lazima nitafuta watu wetu. But that was my sort of lifestyle.
So but from your side and from your dad, like ni wangapi you're born from the same father and the same mother?
It's just me.
Oh, it's just you.
Imagine. Very lucky actually. Now I think hiyo ndio ilikuwa one of the main advantages ama one of the main key points ya kwa nini how women walikuwa so much wananipenda because there was nobody else to love. I was just alone for actually you will not believe it. My blood brother is 3 years now. Kati yangu na ndugu yangu 23 years. Safi. Na si ati Mokoro hakuwa busy. My Mokoro was very busy doing other stuff. Yeah. She was busy working. She has her own sort of portfolio as a career. This is a woman I've seen turn from an engineer to a journalist to a clergy. All of it in one person. Oh, Madam Mokoro. So she had a lot to do of things in her life, but between me and my blood brother, 23 years clean. So for a good 23 years, I was too much pampered.
Education.
Yeah.
Mine isn't.
What about you?
It's different from yours, yeah. So Mimi, we're just the two of us, me and my sister.
Yeah.
So my sister is the eldest one.
Oh, I was 12 with
five years difference, yeah. So she's 5 years older than me. And growing up, because I was the youngest, I think Mimi was pampered a bit, you know. Because everything I asked for, provided for me, including anytime like you were high school. I used to have a lot of money, pocket money, at I didn't even need when I'm in school. So when other guys are struggling to come on and dance with me, I never used to struggle with those things. Come on, I used to skip Getheri, bro. I can afford soda and I can afford bread. So usually I used to go Getheri actually. Because I would Getheri for potatoes. Yeah, that was really good high school. But the Getheri bit, you guys want it? So usually I was kind of pampered, you know, like, come on, of it. I think women are great people. You guys,
oh my
never
God,
undermine women in your life.
The power of women, right?
The power of women. Yeah. Shaggy said one day, strength of
a woman.
Yeah, strength of a woman. So women, we appreciate you so much. If it were not for our mothers, basically, I don't know Mahali to get closer here.
I agree.
So that's my background. We are two of us. I am the youngest, but I'm done with high school, I'm done with university. We'll get to the education right now, yeah? So maybe, how was your education background?
Of course, for our generation, and this one is very, I think the uniform for us. Our parents were very keen on giving us an education, number one, and not just giving us an education. The excelling in that education was a huge deal. It was a huge deal to our parents, and I think those were the main influences for me when it comes to the education. But more than that, I was those sort of self-driven kids. Mimi ni wale student mwenye si lazima nisome. Nikisikia tu na tumekuwa dara na mwalimu. So other than for this main reason, actually, revision. Nani? Why?
There was no need.
You go revise the exam. But I think also our education system, not talk kuponga siku ya education, talk kuponga the way our education system has failed a whole lot. But
so did education for you lay a foundation in any way? Being a nerd?
Of course, definitely.
And in what way?
I think the fact that for you to be educated, we used to see it is like an obligation until you go to school and they pick your curiosity.
Yeah.
So mwalimu, and look into those subjects zenye ulikuwa unapenda. Hata last month sahi ukiangalia vitu zenye alikuwa anapenda, alikuwa so much ni yeye anajituma. So they pick that curiosity, and for me I think the thing that picked my curiosity the most was science.
Science.
Of course, like
you were good in science, like compared to other subjects where science was
not that I was
not really.
Not really. Science was like my number 2. Maths was always number 1, bro. Poleni guys.
I think we have a similarity there. Maths. I used to be the best in maths. And Jaylen anaweza kuambia pale even in na haikuanzia high school but in the primary school. You know me, I've always been fascinated by maths.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Even the course that I did in university, it was accounting, basically driven by you get. So me, maths has always been my favorite subject, the best performing subject.
Yeah.
I remember at high school, so me, maths, I used to be a peer teacher
to other students.
Unaget. So mimi usually kama ni hesabu I never used to solve. I didn't understand why. What do I hesabu? It's very easy. Very mbona uelewi hesabu bro? Yeah.
Na kwa hiyo tunakanga ni kama tuko na kiburi tu hiyo shughuli.
Hatuna kiburi. For your information, hatuna kiburi. It's only that we love maths and we understand maths and we are good at it. You get?
I think and I you'll tell me from your own sort of experience. Ukiangalia mahesabu, like for me the thing that really was very consistent with maths all through, even in high school, was that math is like a constant law. Like kuna betray a certain law kwa mahesabu, hivyo tu hiyo mahesabu yako hakuna mahali unaenda. But if you stick to the way it is like designed, and I think I came to see this in physics. Stick to the way it is, ama you abide to the laws of mathematics. Hakuna kitu yenye ilikuwa ngumu. Everything ilikuwa ina revolve around the very same sort of dimensions. I was not those mwalimu wa math hapa ni wangu wa math alifanya maneno bwana hii.
Actually my favorite teacher was my maths teacher. We used to be this close. Wow. Poleni guys. Sisi hatujui hizo stories zenyu za math. So kama ulikuwa na struggle na math, hawezi relate na hii pod.
Utarelate.
I take that back. I take it back.
Last one alikuwa sawa mahesabu.
Ulikuwa sawa.
Walai.
Kwanza pizza bro. Acha.
Physics.
Physics kuna maths complex.
Physics. Sawa but hatukufuzi kama mahesabu ilikuwa inakutatanisha.
But that's something. If you had a favorite in maths and a favorite in science, bro, I used to be the best. Kama ningekam na papers zangu hapa ungeona. In primary school, I used to receive gifts. If I was not number 1, I was always number 2 for science. But maths, I was always constantly number 1. Number 1. Including high school, mocks, mimi don't report number 1. Sijui Jaylen, sijui kama anaweza kumbuka, but I was always number 1.
Anatupea story za kama
you can confirm.
It's true.
It's true, yeah.
Very good.
I wouldn't even doubt it. Let's see if we have ever had conversations about.
No. Actually, we are going to talk about when you meet na KR. Because we are introducing ourselves there. But maths, that's interesting. It can be actually the basis, maybe why we are nuts. Most mathematicians, they are nuts. Most accountants, they don't have as many friends. Most people who will do anything to do with maths,
they have a very sort of unique social life.
So that is what we're talking about.
So back to whatever we were talking about with the education thing. With me, unasikia mimi si wale wa kurevise na kusoma. Hii sio yangu. Mimi nasoma once. Nimetosheka. I think akina theory and the social sciences ndizo zilikuwa zinanitatanisha na languages. So many of the times in ile I am very much free doing a lot of novels in primary school. And I think the one that set me on the path to this greatness. Na ninajua mnazijua ni vitabu zinaitwa Goosebumps. Na ninajua mnazijua Goosebumps. Niandikie tu hapo comment section the last one you read. Niandikie tu hapo comment section the last one you read. Yeah, Goosebumps were these sort of novels. They were not really lengthy, and they were filled with crazy, insane, fucked up stories. Like zile stories za Halloween sort of thing. But sasa unaona hii ni story yenyewe, in as much as unaweza sema ni stories za wazungu, imekuwa build up hadi wewe unaanza ku create movie na kusoma novel, you know.
So venye watu vitangazo weird, you know, like people who celebrate it to come Halloween, you know, Halloween
is mad, and it's a wait, actually
Guys are weird.
weird. When you're celebrating Halloween, you're appreciating actually. Okay, they are not living here. I know maybe weirdness in here, but nevertheless, we are appreciating a spirit that existed. You know, it's very important. You guys, muna celebrate hizi vitu.
Juzi lecturer Manu ametuambia kuhusu ngoma. And where ngoma came from. Ngoma ya Wakikuyu si ati ilikuwa shetani. No. He was celebrating spirits of ancestors and those who lived before. And
we wouldn't be existing kama our ancestors existed. Actually, you get. Which other thing do you think, like, what do you want to say it's weird about me?
I think the constant obsession, but that one is very weird. There's a certain sort of obsession with nerds when they get, like, for me, if you piqued my curiosity on a certain topic, I'll dive into that topic and go into rabbit holes and you get sort of like obsessed with following up things. I don't know whether you've had this moment where you watch like a series or a movie, alafu main character anakuongelesha until unaanza kuportray character.
I know.
Unaanza kuportray characteristics that is literally what I'm talking about.
Nice. I think nerds are not as
nini ingine yenye you fanya watu useme nerds ni weird. I think the topic spheres yenye we engage are sort of extraordinary.
And also curiosity. I think weirds are generally curious people. Like me, any piece of information I get, I make sure I learn about it. I've learned a bit of, I was telling that's one upper, I've learned a bit of like psychology. I can use it either for good or for bad. That's a weird thing. An average person hears that you can manipulate them and you can make them do something they don't want to do because they simply know, and they don't. They feel this kind of weird feeling that you get. So nerds, they are generally curious people. That's not awareness. I think it is a good thing when you get any piece of information and you absorb it. I think Solomon was a nerd.
Solomon?
The greatest you know.
Actually, you talked about the thing, the knowing how you can manipulate for good or for bad, and I believe that is also another characteristic of nerds. The fact that we can be either heroes or absolute villains. And we make the best in both situations. Na inakuanga tu makosa moja hivi. Elon Musk awafanye mbaya, muumie. We have a lot of great nerds,
So, what do you find more interesting about you being a nerd? So basically we are here to discuss najua ita sound weird because it's something we are trying to fix here. We would cut it down. You know, so we're gonna find out interesting stuff about nerds, So you being a nerd, what is the one thing you find it myself that I have that power I can be able to use either for or against the people? I find it so interesting, So I've gotten part of niko na wao hivi. Me, I've interacted with so many people, all walks of life, from psychologists to doctors to musicians to other people, and I've picked a piece of their thinking into my life. So when I know I have all this knowledge and I can be able to use it against someone or for someone, it makes me feel niko na upper hand. It's something interesting about me. Me ukikuja kwangu, I've started building a library in my house. So I have few books about everything from spirituality. And maybe I don't confine myself to just Christianity because I'm a Christian. You get
religion. Another episode again. We promise.
So me, I go in depth. So I find that interesting. You know, my mind never gets enough. So it can be again my downfall, but I find it interesting that I'm able to absorb all this information. So what do you find interesting about you being a nerd?
Of course, I totally agree with that. The fact that you can delve in very different and diverse topics. Na bado curiosity yako inataka tu ufuatilie. But for me, I think the interesting thing about being a nerd is how you start viewing other people. What we call the average human being. Yeah. I think because how? But sorry, nilikuwa nimeona kitu kwa hii kamera fulani inaniangalia lakini sawa. Unaona characteristics za nerd. So one thing about gathering information, and I totally agree with the person who said that ignorance is bliss. Kutojua is the best thing. But once you start knowing, oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. Knowing too much, it can be easily. It can be your downfall. Because you know a lot. Again, knowing a lot creates a lot of fear. That's another characteristic of nerds. So nerds are afraid of so many things. Because wanajua is possible. Watch 1,000 ways to die.
1,000 ways to die, bro.
You can die literally anything.
Michezo tuko na wewe, ghafla bin vu. Hatuko na wewe. Now the reason why you dead is because of something magical and something so magnificent. What? Another interesting thing about nerds, and I think you'll agree, and this one forms part of the weird sort of basis. We have a different outlook to life and dangers of life. Kuna those sorts of nerds, and I have been through that sort of phase, who get into conversations of, deep conversations until una get into so much deep information until you start seeing life so differently. Unakuwa so nonchalant to everything. Then haikustui sijui watu wanalia economy.
Actually nerds, they end up doing the odd jobs. Cheki zile jobs nyinyi mnaogopa. Hizo ndizo nerds wanafanya. So you find a nerd is so comfortable with a dead body. He's going to operate on it so well. But you, an average person, ukisikia dead body, your nerves inakuwa
nayo.
Nayo. So nerds, they actually take the risk of actually doing those odd jobs, which are very important. When it comes to research, post-mortem na vitu kama hizo, not so many people are confident for vitu kama hiyo. But nerds, they dig deep and they're able to tell even the problem. So I think that's something interesting about nerds, So to all the nerds out there, shout out, tunawapenda sana. When you wanafanya hizo odd jobs, we even love you more. We love you more.
Actually, as a matter of fact, kama ulifanya kitu inaitwa forensic science, you are a nerd. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you so much. We appreciate you so much.
What else do you think is interesting when you start, like as a nerd, when you start, now this one is part of the process of being a nerd, and when you're delving into like certain topics, what is interesting about discovering things for you as a nerd? When you get into a rabbit hole that like takes you for 2-3 days,
curiosity is not something you can satisfy. So it keeps going on and on and on. And that's why when I say curiosity sometimes is dangerous. It's like that of a cat. A cat is so curious about so many things, it eventually ends up losing one of its lives. So you as a nerd, one of its lives. So you as a nerd, you never get satisfaction and information. And actually I think it's the very thing that killed Solomon. Because he couldn't consume enough for himself. And his earthly body, his earthly vessel, couldn't actually absorb contain all that information. It ended up killing him out of curiosity.
My day.
So that's something I've also found about myself. I never get satisfied about something. Right now in music, I've delved deeper. I'm learning about iceberg in music theory. So iceberg, you start from the tip, you go all the way down. You never even get to the bottom of it, you get. So when I'm consuming these things, I find it so interesting that you never run out of information. So when you're following a certain trail, come on in music, you'll never learn to the end. Of it. You always find there is something new unfolding. So I find it so interesting. As nerds, you'll never get satisfied with literally any information.
And also consider that you start delving into something, inaenda ikikufungulianga tupanya root to other things you should.
Even at the end of the day, you come and realize everything is interconnected. So if you started maybe in music, you think that music too peke yake, you find it's connected to other things and you will connect they are unrelated related.
True.
You find pia in physics and everything else, it's music by itself is another science explaining music, okay?
Yeah.
When you go to biology side of it, ama kifikiria daktari haziko connected na music, you find anaku explaining about vibration and everything, so you're like, yo, all these things, they are interconnected, so you
They
can
relate.
they relate to each other. So I find that interesting. Nothing is far from things zenye tunafikiria they are different. Nothing is far from.
Nothing is really new.
Nothing is really new.
Yeah.
So what do you find interesting yourself?
I think probably nini yenye sijasema. Oh, maybe interacting with other nerds.
Yeah.
That has been something yenye I found very interesting, especially in recent days.
Yeah.
I've become a huge follower of Reddit, and not just Reddit, but Reddit conversations.
Yeah.
Especially the nerd pods. You open a Reddit conversation,
Yeah.
there is a time unaona watu wakisumbuliwa na TikTok unalala saa 9. Mimi nilikuwa nasoma Reddit conversation. Ni huyu anajibu huyu, alafu huyu ana reply, alafu huyu ana reply like that. And it is really interesting even looking at how people view life and how people view what is happening even with the situations.
Yeah.
And as well as you said, everything is connected.
Tease.
Like me and you are in this journey of in the governance space right now, and to learn and relearning a lot of things. Unakuja kurealize there is a lot yenye.
Yeah, by the way, this is how we met as maybe we.
You're your next.
Yeah, so we
Venye
are discussing venye sasa tulimit me and Kaya met.
But
Yeah.
walai, unataka tuifanye next episode DOP?
Our DOP anatuambia we do next episode.
Next episode 1 tungetaka ikue a new conspiracy. Tumalizane na easy pleasant trace episode 0 DOP. Unaonaje?